I'm going to use my new Mac.
A very false graph Halloween.
very, very false graph Halloween.
You know, I feel like every commentary for every Halloween show we go, we didn't know what we were going to do.
We didn't know what we were going to do, but...
It's true, though. I was actually working actively on doing, what's his name? Noodlesferatu. We're going to make Noodlesferatu.
That was really going to happen?
Yeah, like I was like watching that movie and like taking notes.
Taking notes.
Yeah, like we were going to try to get
You've been floating the idea of a freaks thing for years.
Yeah.
Casting Angry Kirby as something.
That was really the main motivation.
Yeah, Angry Kirby as something was like the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then an angel came to me named Junt. And we had shot like a series of BoxMac episodes, 2 of which have not aired yet. The
Holy
day that
cow.
we shot this stuff, like 2 of them actually haven't aired yet because there's been so much seasonal content. But he starts like coming out with all this false graph stuff, and then he's like, "Hey, for $100, this lady in Connecticut's got a tremendous amount of it." And we were chatting, and I was like, "What if it?"
I totally would not have bought that had we not
for content. Are you glad you bought it, or do you feel like it was a big waste?
I feel like I'm a little burdened with dishes now.
Really?
Like I have too many.
You could sell it. See if you could flip it
for $100.
Maybe an old lady will come to you.
Maybe. I mean, I could just keep the pieces I like. I mean, I have way too much right now.
I could use some oven
I love that
pieces.
documentary in the rear view mirror shot. That was
Yeah,
really-
like so now, like we were going to go on this very real road trip instead of doing a narrative thing, and I was like, well, I still have to stylize it somehow, and so I was kind of trying to go for that sort of eerie. And I edited together that VHS, like, oh, here's like all this archival footage of John Hunt talking about its false graph and stuff, and created a nice kind of mystery mood.
Ooh,
like you don't like if you were. You don't quite know what you're watching yet. You know, it takes a minute before you know what you're watching.
It's like Blair Witch.
Yeah.
The Last Exorcist.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Last Exorcism.
That's what we were going for.
Or even these ghost story shows and ghost shows.
So this was in September, so it was still like a month out from release. And so I was just like, oh, well, look, we're going to go on this road trip. We're going to spend $100. Yeah, I had Matt hold one of my old time
That
cameras.
camera is
It's still in your trunk, right?
It's moved inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like to grab it back. Not that it matters to me that much. I was like, yeah, we're just going to shoot it and see what we come up with. And then, you know, the part that was totally unpredictable was smashing the bowl.
Yes.
You and EJ do like to get dreamy.
Yeah, and then EJ was like, we should get dreamy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's that?
And then I showed him the clip of David Lynch like losing it on set because of
We never get
schedule.
dreamy. Which is featured in a nice little blog.
In the behind the scenes.
We're joking about that. You can see I decided on some famous Amos cookies at that particular rest stop.
Yeah.
This is only about 3 hours out, but that's a long way for John Hunt.
It didn't feel that far because we were in good
chatting
company,
the whole
right?
But it's just a long day. 6 hours of driving in a day.
Yeah, but we started real early and we were back by like 1.
Yeah,
You guys
1 or
were back
2.
so early.
Yeah, I remember like it was just afternoon, and I can't like because I didn't leave Nina with the baby like all day. I came home and like they were kind of just getting their day started. I was like, I just went on a huge adventure. You ever have that in life where like you go do something that like took a really long time, and you're like, are we still on the same day as that? It was good. It was a really fun time. I would love to go on another road trip. Here, here's a commentary exclusive. Right
Yeah,
here
commentary exclusive.
So as we look ahead at 2020,
Yeah.
which this will probably air in October 2020 because normally it goes on YouTube after the next.
Oh wow,
special.
that far away.
But it'll be on a Blu-ray hopefully sooner than that. As we look at 2020, I really am. Last year was Junt's Nest. Like, what could we do in the coming year?
Yep.
I think this is definitely the year of the tour of Vermont.
I've been trying to promote the tour of Vermont for quite a while.
It's going to be a road tripping series.
I think so. I think we do it. Maybe we take a week. We tour Vermont.
That would be a lot of fun, actually.
You know, we just do
Junting around Vermont.
Junting around Vermont. Yeah, I think it's got to be called like Red Cow Presents the Tour of Vermont.
It's a little troublesome though, because my most favorite cheese shop is really far north in Vermont, which is a haul.
Yeah, but you got to go.
Yeah,
And how far could it really be?
it's in Bar, which is pretty far up.
So I had fun going on this road trip. I had even more fun driving home because Matt fell asleep because Matt had like a job like the previous night and we actually had to. We were kind of here's another exclusive. we were gonna stop at Costco and do a Costco Junts cart.
We were. And I would still like to do that.
We ran out of time because we needed to get Matt back home.
Yes, that's right.
There was a lot of debate before you guys left about whose car was going to be taken.
Local
'cause
trunk.
John was not confident that all the boxes would fit in his car.
Yeah, I actually, the night before, I was over prepping, and
Yeah, he was like
I
freaking
asked about the shape of the boxes, and I did measurements. I went up to the car, took measurements, and it was fine.
Frankie and I were
figured
looking
it
at
would be
my
fine.
car. Should you guys take my car?
Yeah, which is a little more roomy. John, tell me about Christie's.
Oh, I love this place.
This
I
place
would,
is
I would, I would take a trip back just to there, Frankie.
Just to go to Christie's.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a good damn time.
the food was really
You
good.
got to go on a road trip sometimes in your life,
Yeah,
and sometimes just doing a 3-hour, there and back, is enough to just get you out of your municipality.
yeah. I didn't need to stay over for a week in Vermont. Yeah,
Yeah, well, we may be doing that. You can actually, it was set to autofocus. You can see I was really, the closer you get, the more it can't autofocus.
yeah.
But I was like, God, I wish I could just go back to manual. But I wasn't willing. Yeah, these things were.
I like those.
However, for all of this sort of documentary stuff, I did put a very subtle film grain overlay on there.
Gives it a little spooky feel.
Yeah.
The visual guy over there figured that out.
Yeah, and
It's very subtle.
Yeah, and also if details are softer, they
Yeah.
seem a little crisper.
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah.
don't care as much.
Yeah.
This is John at a different time in life.
Nah, no.
Yeah, on the way back, Matt was asleep, and John was introducing me to music I had not listened to before. The big one was he introduced me to the song "Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young" by Jim Steinman, and I've just been listening to that song since then. Tonight is what it means to be young.
It's funny because I was not familiar with that song until the first time I went to Otakon at a big anime convention. Somebody had done an anime music video with that song, and it was like, whoa.
This song rocks.
Yeah.
So we were in Shelton. We were making these Shelton jokes.
Yep. It's good jokes. They're quality.
But yeah, I was obviously starting to get concerned that all of the footage was just profile of John in the car. As we were making this, I was like, what am I making again? What am I,
Yeah, I was concerned kind of the whole time, all the way through until
Yeah.
I saw the finished product.
It's all about the finished product, man. But even just like this, it's like, a really long shot of him. This is slightly uneasy, And it was just trying to shoot things in such a way that would create that feeling. Yeah, you were worried that he'd be shocked. Well, not worried, but you were expecting him to be shocked by your size.
Yeah. I mean, who isn't?
This is a cell phone because I didn't want to go in there with a DSLR.
Yeah.
And there's all the stuff. You shouldn't feel burdened by plates. God damn, you bought a ton of, more than double that independently.
No, not really. Not really.
Really?
I bought some, certainly, but it's just a kind of handful of pieces.
So I actually did cut my hand while doing that, and I just decided to shoot this real quick in the bathroom, not knowing where it would go. And I didn't even tell you guys I shot it.
No, I didn't.
I picked up a Mountain Dew. So a Diet Mountain Dew. We were at that gas station, and it was when I got back to the car after that.
The sadness.
You can hear it in John's voice right now. I was putting in commercials to our old ones. Ties it. And this
The ball's right behind us, falling apart.
That's right.
It's been 5 years.
two.
5.
This year, we streamed all of the Halloween specials and then premiered this one.
Yeah.
So people got to sort of do the live chat
Got to
with us.
experience the whole rigmarole.
And I think they appreciate that because they don't necessarily, the thing about YouTube channels is they don't syndicate. When we were kids, you'd watch the same episodes of The Simpsons over and over again just because you like The Simpsons. But
Exactly.
there's not, unless you click play, there's not really an opportunity to revisit your favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Or sort through the backlog.
Yeah, a lot of fans do. They're like, I'm watching this episode again because
Yeah.
it's my favorite.
Yeah, which is great. But then I meet other ones who are like, oh, I haven't watched this in a few years. This is great. Yeah, like I said, I picked these all up. I just like to get. Normally, we have a costume or something for these segments, and
Your cat costume is quite a thing. I think
it's
it's
pretty
really,
outrageous.
Truly.
Truly outrageous. Look at all that false graph, and you think that's it?
That's not it.
It's not even close.
Not even close.
But for Christmas, we revealed much more, and
Yes.
that wasn't even close.
That wasn't even close either.
Your hand always in the.
After I saw that, I cannot unsee it when I'm starting to do the B-roll. I'm like, oh, wait, John's hand's there.
Yes, now I've had to remove my hand.
Yeah, she actually put Apple in her Mac.
Her Apple Mac was better than my Apple Mac.
Yeah, it was a little more incorporated.
You were not confident enough about the Apple, so you were just like, look, I hope the Apple doesn't ruin it.
Yeah.
You decided to go full Mac.
I should have. I mean, we could talk about this, more.
Talk about it
when we
right
get-
now.
All right. I should have really embraced the Apple. Instead, I tried to hide the Apple.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
I should have made it like the dominant thing.
Yeah.
And put the apples in fresh at the end, and added apple cider to the mix.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even at its detriment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And really kind of double down on it.
If we fail together.
Yes. And there should have been bacon involved too.
I think there's an opportunity to do a 2.0 of this.
You think so, EJ?
The Apple Mac? Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. Actually, I think that I
Maybe
can
next
agree with you.
Halloween.
or even just like a fall themed one. Or
You know what? One other thing we should really do this year that we've never done before on the show is, I make a Mac for the Christmas party every year. We've never made that Mac on BoxMac. That's a John Hunt unique recipe that has not ever been made.
It's really good too. It's super cheesy.
Yeah, it's super cheap.
But I can't say about all Macs. I've been having some Macs recently.
Yeah,
Family Macs.
sure. They're always kind of...
Workplace Macs. People. Now, I know that we've had an opportunity to experiment a lot. We've had a lab.
Yes. We've been through just about every iteration. I feel that I'm an expert on Mac.
Well, I should hope so. People think that they know how to make. Everybody thinks they make the best mac and cheese. People make really shitty mac and cheese.
They make really awful mac and cheeses. Yeah.
Right?
What was the problems with some of the ones that you've experienced?
Well, so
recently?
just to state the obvious, big toppings that don't work at all.
Yeah, garbage.
But also like not using a sharp cheese.
Yeah, that's a common mistake.
Like using more like a Gruyere type that ends up
A ton of really mild cheese, so you don't really taste much of anything.
right. Or cooking up the noodles too. And this may be part of like using the wrong pasta type or baking too long or who knows. But mushy freaking noodles.
Yeah, mushy pasta. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, people don't know how to cook pasta very well, probably because people don't actually cook pasta that often.
Right.
I think you and I are both really educated about how pasta. Just really educated.
If there's anything, I have a few certs, and that's one of them. There's a guy at my potluck who did a pizza mac, but it was served in blocks. And,
Any Mac that ends up in a block is.
and there were pepperonis in it.
no,
But like full
stop it.
pepperonis.
No.
Yeah, I was like, and he's like, yeah, man, my pizza mac. Like it was like this. I simply, and of course, like I'm like the mac and cheese guy, and
Yeah.
Like, how is it?
it was like served cold.
No. Wrong.
That's
Like, why am I eating this?
Just serve me like a nice cheese and cracker at that point.
What if my dad saw that? He tends to watch. My dad doesn't watch every episode of BoxMac. You'll be shocked to find out. But
I'm not shocked.
But he normally checks out the Halloween ones, and I wonder if he saw that segment. The Checo here was very good.
Oh, I love that pasta.
Meow 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 meow.
I know I've said it before, but that is the best store brand pasta you can buy.
Yeah, you think so?
Like widely available. There are better pastas, but that one's definitely the best supermarket pasta.
I would say I'm like repeated. Nina's like, I got nothing to say.
Sitting back.
I'm like repeatedly delighted by Orchiette.
Yeah, I really love it. Nina, what do you think of the costume? I'm trying to get Nina involved here.
Nina, aren't I hot?
It's super sexy.
Just panting.
Like I
That
said,
sound you hear is panting on the mic.
It's somebody's fetish.
I'm sure it is.
It can't all be you, John.
Let's be thankful for that.
So why green apple?
I wanted the tartness, and I thought that would complement it really well. The mistake was actually cooking them, pre-cooking them.
Oh, I have an opinion I'd like to express.
Okay, sure.
At this time.
Yeah.
I posted this on social media recently.
Okay.
I don't think I like hot fruit under any circumstances.
Well, I mean, unless you want to get technical about tomatoes and tomato sauce.
Okay, fine. But that's like a sugary, yeah. But you got me there. But
But like apples or oranges.
and some people responded and they helped me think through it.
Yeah.
they got me to agree that a cooked apple that is then served cold, like an apple crisp served cold, that's fine.
That's okay.
But a hot apple, I'm never into a hot apple.
Let me just say, like, roasted pineapple is really delicious.
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Well, you've been to that Brazilian grill that we like a lot.
I don't like that shit.
You didn't like the pineapple?
No, I always give it to Nina.
Or, like, have you ever had a ham? You ever had a ham with the pineapple rings on it? I actually like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or on pineapple pizza.
I do like making an applesauce, and you make it hot. Usually you cool it down, but I like sometimes eating it warm.
A warm applesauce. I've never
applesauce.
had that. Never had it, EJ.
What got me thinking about it was my parents served ham for Christmas.
Yep.
And there was I think it was basically the leftover cooked apples for the apple pie.
Yep.
They were available to be served with these kind of piping hot apples in a sugary sauce where you could put on the side of your ham. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't want to. I did, of course.
That's a common side. Like Boston Market has their hot apples.
Yeah, they used
what
to.
I'm
They don't
saying
have
is
them anymore.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of those. Yeah, the little...
The cinnamon apples.
Yeah, the cinnamon apples.
Yeah, they're gone. They're gone.
Boston Market?
Yeah, they don't have the apples anymore. at Boston Market.
That's too bad.
I just catered, so
That's right.
I know.
They do a decent catering job.
Yeah, it was okay.
I like that you never get their mac, though.
No. I really like making that mac. That's like my one time a year to make that Charisse mac.
It's a good mac.
So
I love it.
I love how you cut it off there.
Yes,
That's
yes,
great.
we all know. You know.
We know where we're going with this joke.
Sometimes some of your hidden false graph takes me by surprise.
Like you'll just see it in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. You know, like a serving spoon or something.
Yeah, like some odd piece.
A napkin holder.
Yeah.
In the dessert contest this past year, Aaron pointed out to me in John's bathroom that he has heating lamps in the ceiling, which of course is very funny because they're like red heat lamps. You know, it's funny, but I kind of want some for myself.
They're pretty common in hotel bathrooms.
Yeah, I've never once had it.
Can I give you a suggestion?
Yeah.
Not that we should talk about home construction here, but
Do it.
They make that fixture comes in a 4-light version that you should definitely get because 2 is a little weak.
Ooh.
Because
Okay.
4 is very nice, and it was a little too big for the circuitry for the electrics in my bathroom. But.
I mean, how much money does that cost to do that from end to end? 'Cause they gotta run it. There's some.
Running the wire, if you were in new construction, it costs almost nothing. But
Yeah.
if you have to run the wire, I mean, the fixture itself, the one that I got was like $40, and the lights are cheap. But a nice one would probably cost you $150 with 4 lamps and a little, because they integrate it with the vent for the bathroom too, so you can have it all in one kind of package.
But it could be hundreds to get it run.
Yeah, you're probably looking at a couple $100
Yeah.
in labor.
Gotta really want it.
Yeah.
For a little one moment a day kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're better off with just a bathroom floor heater, to be honest. You got to have one of those.
It is surprising you didn't serve the apple mac and the apple dish.
That apple dish is just too small, and there are 2 other apple dishes that Falscraft makes. But one is even smaller than that as an individual apple server.
So that wasn't going to solve our problem.
And one is like a pie dish kind of. It's only like 1 inch deep. So I would have had to get a bunch of them.
A clip from our documentary,
Whoa.
Wow.
which we may have just recorded a
We
commentary
may
for.
have just done it, just
I've
before
just seen this woman's face.
Just. But
Oh,
now
but
she's
she-
in black and white.
That I don't think that was in the real movie.
No, it wasn't.
That was her talking about how nice it would be to get dishes.
Oh yeah.
So that's the secret.
Oh, you used Gruyere here. I don't have
did.
anything against Gruyere.
It
I'm
didn't,
just-
and I made a
was a
mistake
mild.
here of buying buying the Gruyere from Aldi, and I really hate Aldi. I know we haven't done a Junt's cart there yet, have we?
no, we haven't.
But let me just say, when we go, I'll hate it.
Nina does not hate it.
I
We
like
went
it.
once, and she was pretty into it.
Yeah, let me. We can. I'll save it for the car.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But let me also. Can I also preview something?
Sure.
There's a new little grocery store right next to that Aldi in Fall River, called Family Foods, and they are a salvage grocery store.
Yes.
And
gotta do
I
both.
love it.
My,
But we'd have
my father used to shop at salvage discount grocery
Yeah,
store.
we'd have to get actual permission though to shoot there
'Cause it's so small.
It's so small. Yeah,
Should we? We should do those
It's in
soon.
an old Rite Aid. It's in an old.
they would give us
pharmacy.
permission though. I think the guy who runs it is there.
You think he'd be okay with it?
I think he would because I'm gonna be complimentary. I can tell him. I love the place. I love it.
Okay, so here's what's funny. This was shot in slow motion, obviously, like a proper slow motion, but the audio wasn't. And so I had to figure out like what rate the video was played at to get the audio to sync up, and then not pitch. Yeah, we've now done a lot of slow motion cheese pouring into bowls. This is me searching for a new way to
like do it.
And Susan Boyle's kind of been a running joke on the show.
A little bit.
I adore this.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I love that false craft baker, by the way. It's one of my favorites.
I have to say, I've like shot so much false craft B-roll.
It just
for a
started
lifetime.
this
September.
year.
I know, but
came
for
out
a
of
lifetime.
Smash.
For a lifetime, that's
I was
enough.
actually thinking, Frankie, I'm probably never will do it, but I was thinking of making a series, like just a web series of me, like talking about false craft.
Listen, you've got your own network.
Oh, I know.
You can air a show if you'd like.
Oh.
No one would watch this show because no one really gives a shit about false craft.
Yeah,
You
but they
can put
care
it on-
about you. I think people care about.
I think the trouble is just me. I'm not enough.
You know what you could do?
What?
You could make it.
Yeah.
And you could we could upload it as a Pods and Clips exclusive.
Ooh.
And drive traffic to the other channel.
Oh, I could totally do that.
You know.
That's true.
I think I'd need maybe I'm gonna put it on the table. I think Nina would be a great co-host.
I'd love
for
to
that
do it.
show. I
Yeah.
think it would be a lot of fun.
All right.
Like, can I tell you an idea for one of the
Go ahead.
episodes? I don't want to take away from our commentary.
I don't care.
I wanted
It's all
to
about the
do
false craft.
a review of every size bowl they have.
Oh my.
Like, look at every different bowl they have, from the tiniest all the way to the biggest.
I would love
Wouldn't
that.
that be a fun episode?
I would love
Wouldn't
that.
that be great?
I'm into it.
cousin?
I'm totally
No.
into
I would
it.
enjoy that even if we didn't film it.
You would edit it, right? You now have a,
Oh yeah,
a little editing.
I got a questionably legal copy of Premiere.
Yeah, unfortunately, the breaking of the bowl, which was very real, in case anybody,
Yeah, it was
Anybody-
not a
yeah.
stage thing. It was very sad.
we did not have that on camera. Of course, we have this.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
It is
It's
sad.
not that sad.
It is sad.
It's a $30 replacement. It's
Yeah,
not
but
that
good
sad.
thing I got that $30 one.
6 hours of your life.
Because there hasn't been another one that cheap on there since,
Listen,
by the way.
well, that's good.
They're all $80 now.
Look, I certainly don't want to break John's bowls on purpose or anything like that, but it did give the episode a narrative
Right.
arc.
True.
It did.
If it hadn't happened, I don't really know where it all heads.
This is.
We would have had to figure something else out.
Yeah, we would have had to go a different way.
So it's yeah. We spent actually a lot of it's filmed and didn't make it into the show, but we spent a lot of time litigating whose fault it was most.
Whose false craft it was.
Yeah.
I was willing to
Yes.
take the blame completely for that.
I don't really see how it was all that much your fault, but I guess of the three of us, it was the most your fault.
Yeah. I was the one who decided to direct
It was
them.
my fault to the extent that I didn't reach for the thing quickly
Yeah.
enough. I was just really scared and just moving.
I think it's the woman who you bought it from for telling you not to put it in the back.
Yeah, we
If
had
was
it in a
back the
perfectly
trunk,
fine
would've been
spot.
Yeah, it probably would have been safe.
But again, I'm sort of glad that it broke. And John solved the problem. And he now has one that can act as a planter because he taped it back up.
Yeah, I'm gonna epoxy it, which could be another episode of our false craft show of like recovering broken.
Yes,
false craft.
that you could make a whole occupation out of repairing broken false craft.
Right. Coming up, this is gonna be the section that's dreamy, and just technically, that was just shot with the photo mode, just
Yeah.
a high frame, not high picture count, but low frame rate.
Right.
So I was just basically taking pictures, and we overexposed it on purpose, so it was kind of weird.
And we swiveled the light all around, and
Yeah, so there's a lot of
was fun.
interesting things. And then there's a Junt card.
yes, you forgot that there was just
Yeah,
a
you
Jones
forgot there
cart
was a Jones cart
right in the
way
middle of
you
this
did.
thing.
I know.
In the way.
It took me forever to figure out, to find like a Google map. You'll see it. It's very low res. But it was just trying to figure out what this was.
Yeah. And I don't even know what that store is.
Me neither. But that's, I took probably 2 hours to get that.
2 hours.
It was really hard
Wow.
to find. Yeah.
I remember you doing it. You'd be like, "Oh, I think it was this," and then you'd be like, "No, it wasn't that." "Oh, I think it was this." "Oh, that's wrong."
I feel
too."
like if you're going to publish a video, it's going to be out there for the rest of our lives. You don't want these open-ended questions, you know? Close that shit up. I think this place was only okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But it was,
okay.
again, it was super fun. It was Halloween time. We stopped at some weird place on the way home.
We were actually. This was like Frankie said. This was way before Halloween, so it was good that this place was here.
It was like September 20th or something.
Yeah, so it was a month and a little bit.
But what we were realizing as we were looking at the schedule because this is what happens every year. I don't know if people realize this, is like we make a lot of original content for the Halloween season around Halloween.
Yeah.
Whereas with BoxMax, we're able to bank them a lot of the time.
Yeah, the ones you're going to watch, like, in the future have been made long in the past.
Yeah. Or, at least a month or so normally.
Yeah.
But that's not true around the seasonal time because you can really only shoot seasonal stuff around the seasonal time. So you're trying to shoot as much as you possibly can. And also, by the way, we can't shoot on weekdays. We're all at work.
Yep.
So you only really, even though like the season feels long, you really only get 4 or 5 weekends to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And one of those things is going to be shooting a big, huge special.
Yeah.
And one of those things is my mom making Gloria costume. There's all this stuff that has to happen.
And childcare in general.
Yeah.
Lives.
So, I think when we're lining up the weekends and we recognize like, we could go out there this weekend, get that thing in the can.
It worked out
We
well.
took the opportunity.
Yeah, I was a little concerned at first that this whole episode was going to be kind of flat because we didn't have the normal narrative arc.
Right.
But it really, in the end, it turned out great, I think.
People really liked it more than I expected them to.
Yeah, they did. They liked it more than I expected as well.
I think because people like our content. They like
Yeah.
Junt's cart. They like the banter. They
And all
come
that's
here for
here,
the
yeah.
hang.
Yeah, if anything, the other specials are departures from the thing that they normally come here for.
Yes, exactly.
So if this is a little closer to what they tend to like, then that's
Yeah.
fine. I also think it's it's not a bad toilet.
Toilet.
I also think it's not a bad thing to evolve what the specials
Oh yeah,
can
keep it
be.
interesting.
You know,
It doesn't always have to be narrative.
change what's allowed.
Yep.
And that keeps it interesting for us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we feel like we're trapped in a prison of content. I think this year's Pirate Pizza review is the best.
Really.
Oh, I
the way.
agree. I agree. 100%.
That's another thing we always shoot every year, and that's for some reason we shoot it around Halloween time. That's one we could actually bank in like July if we wanted to. That actually wouldn't be a bad idea.
Did you do that this year?
Yeah.
Shoot it in like February.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the craft keeper curled up on the floor. His diabetic coma.
Warner! A lot of comments about like I made this comment about how fairies are hot, and there was at least 3 or 4 people who were like, "Really, Frankie, fairies?" I was like, "Guys, I don't know what to tell you." I just made a comment about fairies.
And then there's others that are like, yeah, they're kind of hot.
Yeah. I think Junt's hot.
That's for you, Edgar.
How dare you?
How dare you?
I was
How dare I wear that shirt in public?
this one, a little ratty.
Yeah.
You won't be shocked to find this out, but I was in a Shadowcast production of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
As was Nina.
Yep.
She was one of the Transylvanians, but I was Dr. Scott.
I remember.
Yes.
went to
Did you
see it.
you saw it? Really?
Yeah.
You came out and saw it?
I like him. He's funny.
He's hilarious. Billy would love it if you guys went to Warp Speed. Yeah, weird, like, I don't know, I think slightly pedophilic costumes. I'm like, what are we
Definitely
doing?
some weird things.
What are we doing this for?
Oh no, problematic.
There's your thumbnail right there. Him looking all stern at the camera. Hat on a hat.
It's like, is this gonna cancel me?
Yeah, right. There has to be a point when you're releasing content once a week, you're just incriminating yourself.
Yeah, we're
At some
done.
point, you're ready to get canceled. Actually, maybe there's like a tipping point where you're like, there's so much content.
Yeah,
Who's
that's
going to
true.
really go through this other than like Media Matters or something?
Yeah, but then we would have to be like in a political sphere for
Right.
that to matter.
Yeah.
Media matter.
We got the opposite problem. We can't get anybody to watch.
Media matters. Please go through all our content. We need the viewers.
Put together a beautiful compilation of every time John wore.
A problematic outfit. There aren't that many.
Yeah, it had some cool stuff here, like that weird like bludgeon smiley face. I don't know. It was. Yeah. Vampirina. A vampire girl in a human world. Whoa, Vampirina.
Does she like eat people?
No.
Presumably.
Can I tell you what? Here's what Vampirina is. Every episode, she's like, nobody will like me because I'm a vampire and not normal. In every episode, the other girls are like, it's fine.
We love you because of how different you are.
Yeah.
Every
We
episode.
like that you feast on.
On the living.
They avoid the topic.
Okay. I've never seen it, so I'm just when I hear Vampirina, I'm like,
They
oh,
avoid
she's
the
feasting on
feast
humans.
on blood. Yeah.
The most embarrassing, terrible thing she does is she turns into a bat sometimes.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, I did it again.
They all notice and hate me.
It's like being seen naked.
They saw me feasting upon other humans. I'm so embarrassed.
I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, that really sort of like starved feast.
It's just tearing into it, ripping out the throat.
Just like missing most of the meat. Eating it so fast.
Like 30 Days of Night level stuff.
Yeah, it's really gurgling on the blood.
Yes.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of grotesque imagery.
Yeah.
Gloria now has an on a nightgown that my sister gifted her. Did you like this motif of like showing the title, like over showing the title?
Yeah, I kind of did it. I also liked your title design there, if I may say.
Thank
which
you.
is kind of double, looks like 2 fonts stacked.
I'm not sure where I got it.
It looks like some like metal music cover.
It's awesome.
I love this.
Now, look, we all know that MST3K is the best one. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
But
Birdemic is pretty good.
this
or
one's-
Boxdemic.
Boxdemic is great. I personally like Boxdemic more than Falsegraph.
Well, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I have always liked our narrative stuff a lot. So.
Well, just because it's so fucking ridiculous.
It is. It's so ridiculous.
Suddenly we're...
It's so close to the original.
It is. It really is.
To the point where I do get scenes from this mixed up with the Birdemic.
I remember having to well, we of course talked about this in the other commentary, but having to color correct it as badly as that was hard.
Fans ever give any comments on the commercials in the episodes for the stuff?
No, they don't seem to dislike it.
All right. How could you?
I like to try to make it a television event. Now you shot this independently. I asked you to shoot this.
Yes.
Of you unboxing the new one.
Yeah. And you used way more footage than I thought you would.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to use any of the bullshit about the crazing.
Oh, I had to. And now we've made crazing references on future episodes.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
And all the broken glass pieces in the upcoming art section were just things that Matt found at
Savers.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a
Savers.
little more.
Yeah, and well, so the other thing too is because we had a smashed one, we thought we could use it to smash it more, and to and so John tapes it back up.
I didn't want to smash
He puts Humpty
it.
Dumpty together again. And he's sitting in his bedroom, kind of whimpering with the newly taped bowl.
Forlorn.
And we're
looking
like,
at
well,
it.
we're gonna need that bowl now,
I mean,
John.
Look, can I just say, it really depressed me that Matt bought dishware and was going to just destroy it for the purpose of the episode.
But it wasn't false graph.
But now you're sitting here.
Some of
saying-
it was.
Yeah,
Some
but
of
now
it-
you're sitting
yeah.
here saying I've got too much of it. I'm burdened by it.
Yeah,
We
but
should have smashed it.
Destroy things you don't want.
I mean, we smashed a couple pieces that were already, because I had ordered some online and it arrived broken,
Yeah.
and then got them refunded. But
So we had shot like a bunch of other stuff this morning, and then I don't know what we shot. We shot a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh well, one of them was the BoxMac segment for the false graph episode, and then we saved some time for this, and we kind of just rushed through it. And
We just made stuff up. It was all improvised, basically.
Yeah.
yeah, that was
We had some ideas. Of what we wanted
Matt
to
had
do.
come to the table with some gags. He had actually written out like a whole script. I had not asked him to do that, and then he was like, "You want to do this gag?" Because but at the same time, I wanted him to maybe prep some props in case we wanted to use stuff. But generally, yeah, it was just kind of improving and figuring it out. And then finally, and Matt did the makeup on the cut.
it's
and
actually
stuff.
looked pretty good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
But come on, slow motion plate smashing.
That one was already broken. I think we
Should've
dropped it
broken.
again.
Yeah, that was the first drop when it didn't really smash. And then, this is one of the gags I think Matt wrote.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had written a whole kind of script.
yeah, exactly.
That we kind of only took a couple ideas.
But that was super funny. Yeah, so he laid down. We were like in a rush, and he laid down and was like, just like, kind of do my perimeter with shards of plate. And he smashed some just for sound effects downstairs.
That's the real break.
Yeah, that's crazy. That one makes you sad.
No, that stuff was already
It
broken.
looks so cool.
It does.
Yeah, that stuff was never going to be useful. So.
I've rewatched this lots of times because I just love it.
Yeah, and we use, I use low shutter speed, so it kind of blurs overly and all that stuff.
And then I don't even know which one, but one of the two of those is the
It's
tape.
completely shattered.
Is,
yeah,
is the
It's
tape
just
back
taped
together
up.
one. And so then we got to do the gag of like, oh, there's two now. Hey.
Okay.
And that's the false grab episode. I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
And then there's these sort of, this like,
Silent,
like
Blair Witch.
yeah.
Yeah,
like-
Blair Witch-esque credits. I like the font actually.
yeah.
It's very
It's
computer basic.
right. Tracking.
Yeah,
VCR-ish.
yeah.
And Matt got to participate and have fun. He didn't create an entire. Yeah, owns a ton.
I never watched it that far to see that credit.
Please donate.
Yeah, please don't.
Oh no!